Hello, my name is Jen, and welcome to The Cup and the Pen. Today I'll be answering the BookTube Newbie Tag questions, so let's get started. Question 1. Why did you start this channel? That's a good question. I love to read and I love to talk about books, so this is a way for me to combine both of those interests. It'll also prevent me from bothering my boyfriend 24/7 whenever a character does something dumb in a book and I immediately want to tell someone else and just be like, this is really stupid, I can't believe this. I'm sure he would like to be spared from those moments a little bit more, so instead of just talking his ear off in between my reading binges, I can come and talk to this camera alone in another room. Question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I hope there are some fun things and maybe some unique things I can bring to BookTube. Immediately off the bat, I have 2 adorable tabby kittens named Buffy and Willow, and I'll be sprinkling lots of footage of them in all of my films because, let's be honest, the people want to see the kitties. They don't want to see me, probably. They want to see the kitties. I want to see the kitties, and they're really cute. And really good. And then when I keep looking over off camera, it's directly at Buffy, who's on a little cat tree. Hey, Buff. Okay, she's looking away now. She doesn't care. Anyway, moving on. Question 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Well, I'm excited to have a really good excuse to read more books and to buy more books. I'm the type of person that doesn't really feel comfortable buying books until I'm done reading everything in my to-be-read pile, which is currently one of these shelves behind me. Oh yeah, this one right here. Up until here, this one, those books over there. That's what I currently haven't read and still need to read. To be honest, you don't always want to read what's in your to-be-read pile. I feel like all different books have different moments that are the best moments for you to read them in your life, or they become relevant at certain times in your life, or maybe you're just really craving some fantasy or some young adult or something more serious. And I don't want to limit myself to what's right here behind me, but I also want to take away some of the guilt from buying or even taking books out of the library and just starting new books, knowing that I have this collection that I haven't fully read yet. So starting a BookTube channel is the best way to do that because now it is part of my job. Now it's part of my job to read new books and to get new books and keep reading all the time because I need to make content. So I'm most excited about being able to buy and read new books and acquire new books, whether through purchasing them or taking them out of the library, and take away some of that guilt I was feeling because now I need to make content for my single viewer out there. Hello. Hi, thanks for watching. So it's a good excuse for me to read more, and that's really what I'm most excited for. Question 4. Why do you love reading? I love reading because I love escaping into another world that's not my own world. Growing up, I was an introvert. I've always been an introvert since early childhood. In the very beginning, in the early days, it was really hard for me to talk to other people. And I'd be uncomfortable in social settings, but if I had a book, I could ignore the world. Somehow that became socially acceptable. I could just stick my nose in that book and read and ignore what was going on. And that's what I usually did, like anywhere I was. I'd have a book, even at like family parties or secretly at school. I'd be reading like under my desk. I'd escape into these worlds and follow someone else around and let them do stuff and be outgoing and go on adventures and still kind of get like some of the experience, to kind of live vicariously through those characters rather than having to do that scary shit in real life. So I love to read to escape. As an adult now, I'm still reading to escape, but I am reading to escape other things in life, maybe the news or how scary the world has become, or work stress. Being able to hop into a book and jump into another character's life and go on that journey and experience something really different than my own life is really fun and exciting, and I love it, and it's my favorite hobby, and if I could just do that all the time, I wouldn't work or do anything else, to be honest. Question 5. What book or series got you into reading? So honestly, I can't remember what book or specific series got me into reading. I've been reading ever since I learned how to read, which I obviously don't remember, but I do remember getting my first library card at the age of 4. I was allowed to get one as soon as I could print my name on the back of a library card. So once I could write my name on there, I got my own card. My mom would take me to the library once a week. We lived down the street from the library. I always took out the maximum number of books allowed per patron, which was 10 books. So I'd get a stack of 10 books. In the early days, that was 10 picture books, but as I got older, it was a mix of like chapter books or young adult, or even graphic novels when my library eventually started carrying those. So I always had like a huge stack of books I would take out every week. And when it was really nice out and we had really nice weather, my mom would take us outside into our backyard and we would spread out a blanket and take a bunch of books with us and just read a lot, and kind of like spend the whole day reading. And she never made me feel weird for taking out 10 books, even though in hindsight that was probably weird. It was a big stack and I was a small child at the time. But I loved that she kind of was just like, oh, that's what you want to do, that's cool. Like, you can read whatever and you can read as much as you want. So that was really exciting and really helped me grow a love of reading. Question 6. What questions would you want to ask your favorite booktubers? I think I would want to ask other booktubers why they started their channels, what they were looking for. Maybe it was community, maybe it was for an excuse to read more, maybe it's because they want to do something video related in their lives, and practicing on YouTube is a good way to get into that. I guess I'm just really curious about what draws people to the BookTube community to get started as a content creator. It does seem a little bit weird to create videos where you just talk about books. It almost seems like it couldn't be content, like it doesn't really, from the outside, it doesn't really make sense because a book is a solitary experience. You read it, you're alone while you're reading it, but then also saying that kind of answers that question for me in my mind because it's a solitary experience. Who are you going to talk to about that experience after you've read that book? And that answer is probably BookTube. So it gives you a community of people who share the same interests as you, which are reading, a bunch of different things. So yeah, I'm just really curious about why people got started on BookTube in general. It seems like a very, it can be an expensive hobby and it can be pretty time consuming. And as someone who loves to read, and I'm sure they love to read as well, obviously, it seems like a lot of work outside of just reading that book and enjoying it. So yeah, curious about their motivations. Question 7. What challenges about starting a BookTube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? I think the main challenge for me will be getting used to seeing my face on camera and hearing my voice recorded on camera as well. I think it's a little bit terrifying. I watch a lot of YouTube and it's super comfy and cozy to be on the other side and kind of watch other people talk to the camera, but being in front of the camera and talking to it is just a little bit terrifying. So that will definitely be a challenge for me that I will need to work on overcoming. I think the rest of it will be fine, to be honest. My boyfriend has had a long career in video production, so I'll have help in the editing department and the camera department. I won't need to figure it out all alone on my own. So that's great and kind of like a cheat or a hack. But yeah, just getting used to seeing myself on camera and talking to a camera, that's gonna be a big challenge. So hopefully that is something I can do. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll find out together. Question 8. When did you start reading? So again, I started reading as soon as I was taught how to read. I immediately gravitated towards books. I remember sitting on the rug in preschool during, I guess, like free time we had in preschool, which is weird. And I would take down like these little chapter books, or not even chapter books, like little paperback books that were color coded for like different reading levels. And I would read through them and just try to read through as many of them as possible and see if I could get through the harder ones. And I remember reading the harder books and always hitting words that I didn't understand and just kind of like brushing over them and just trying to figure it out via context, like what I was trying to understand or grasp from that page. And that didn't really deter me. Like, I wanted to read about, like, you know, these like chickens and cows who were friends, and the other various storylines that were prevalent in preschool books. Yeah, I just wanted to read from an early age, and I never stopped. And I love it, and I love reading, and I guess I love reading because it's an escape, which I also said before, so now I'm just repeating myself. But it's an escape, and it lets me kind of explore my own imagination, and yeah, it's just fun. You kind of go on a little adventure in your own mind, so that's fun. Question 9, where do you read? Well, I read everywhere. Now that I'm mostly home, and I'm working from home, I'm working remote, I like to read in bed or on the couch and just get like as comfy as possible, as horizontal as possible, and read. That's like my preferred method. But I can also read like anywhere in the world. Since starting at an early age and practicing my ability to shut out all distractions in the rest of the world, I used to read like on the bus and on the subway, or in like doctors' waiting rooms, or in like a park. I can read anywhere, so that's a good thing. And I don't really mind where I read, as long as I can stay there for a while without being like actually interrupted. So yeah, so I read everywhere. That's the answer to that question. Question 10, what kind of books do you like to read? I primarily like to read fiction, a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. I'm looking for a big escape. I also like to read young adult, anything that's very plot heavy. I really enjoy like more fast-paced novels. I can enjoy literary fiction. It just really depends on what I'm in the mood for. I also really enjoy graphic novels, manga, just all sorts of things. I don't really need to read only one genre. I will read any genre. I've tried them all, and I will continue to kind of explore. I don't really like to limit myself. So yeah, I'll just read anything, and that's how I've always been. I'll read anything. Question 11, and the last question. What does your book collection look like? Let me show you. So yeah, that's my book collection behind me. Ta-da! Books! So yeah, this is my book collection. It's not the entire collection. I also have a Kindle, and I have like at least 100 books on there as well. And this collection used to be a lot bigger, but I've since decluttered it and really tried to maintain only the books that I really enjoy. I'm going for quality over quantity. I don't really like to hold on to books that I didn't really enjoy just because I'm thinking, oh, that's taking up the space of a book that I could enjoy, or a new book. But yeah, I like to keep books that maybe potentially I would want to reread them someday, or reference them, or just seeing that book brings back good memories from reading that book. And I also like to keep books that I think would be something that I'd want to recommend to a friend, so I can just take it off the shelf and let them borrow it and read it. Things that I think other people should read if they reveal to me that they're looking for a book. I'm not the type of person that pushes books on people unless I kind of get that cue that they're interested in looking for a new book, and then I'm like, here, you gotta read this. This is great. So yeah, books that I can either enjoy myself again, that's what's going to remain in my collection, or books that I can recommend and lend to friends. But yeah, my collection, getting down to what it's primarily made up of, it's a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. Not surprising. That's not surprising at all. A lot of novels, some nonfiction, a lot of manga and graphic novels, some young adult, some chick lit, a good mix, I would say. And I do expect it to grow and evolve over time as I grow and evolve as a reader and a person. So that's exciting. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that collection. Maybe I'll eventually get like another bookshelf, maybe over here. Seems like I have room over here. I don't have room that way. That way it's a door, so. Or I could like let the collection grow into another room, maybe get some bookshelves in the living room. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's it. If you liked this video and want to learn more about me and the types of books I'll be reading on this channel, make sure to subscribe. Maybe throw this video a like. If you just want to see more kitten content, more of Buffy and Willow, also subscribe. I will be putting them in every video because that's kind of like my greatest strength. It's the fact that I have 2 adorable kittens, so obviously they'll be in more videos. So yeah, if you want to see more, I hope you stick around. If you also are a booktuber, let me know in the comments. I want to check out your stuff as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. That's a wrap. Thank you.